Hi everyone, it's Diane with Sew Batik, and today is Fabric Friday. I'm really excited today to talk about another Batik Canvas project. I really enjoyed our Divide and Conquer bag that I shared with you last week. And also I introduced the Buckthorn Backpack and Tote pattern. And so I've spent some time this week sewing both a tote and a backpack up using our 8.6 ounce canvas and our 5 ounce canvas. So that's going to be fun to share with you. I'm also going to share additional color combinations for these two kits that are new on our website. We're going to talk a little bit about our inventory update with the shipment that's about to arrive, as well as 2 garment projects that are going to be a lot of fun. The first project, let's talk about this Buckthorn Backpack and Tote pattern. This is by Noodlehead, and I've only done one other project by Noodlehead, but I really love working with her patterns. And let's talk a little bit about them. They are a very, I would say, an easy to intermediate bag, kind of on the easy side, very beginner friendly. And both the backpack and the tote are constructed in the exact same way. The only difference between the two is the size. Well, actually more than one difference, but the size, the strap width, and the fact that the backpack has hardware with it. So let's first talk about the tote bag. This tote, isn't that just the cutest tote bag? And for both of our projects here, what I've done is I have used the 8.6 ounce heavier canvas as the main outside fabric. I've used the 5 ounce canvas for both the straps and the lining. So I don't have any Batik cotton in here. It's just heavyweight canvas and the lighter weight canvas and all the different little accessories. So the tote bag is, there's a front pocket that does have basic interfacing, and I have used the SF101 interfacing. There's a zipper, okay, let me grab this the right way. There's a zipper closure at the top, and there's your lining, which also has it has one pocket that then has a divide line between it. So you can compartmentalize whatever size pockets that you would like in this bag. And the measurements for the smaller tote are 10.5 inches wide, 6.5 inches deep. So it's got a pretty good depth to it, and 11.5 inches tall. So it's, if you really were to look at it, it's almost square, but it looks taller than it really is. And again, zipper closure, very simple with handles, okay? And the backpack, let's talk a little bit about the backpack. It's the exact same construction. The only difference really is its size and the fact that there are straps on the back, okay? So the backpack again has an outside front pocket, zipper closure, which is really super easy to install. I have to tell you, this is really a wonderful method. And then inside, again, we have, let me find them here. There are pockets that you can put divider stitch lines to make them the perfect size and depth and width and whatever for you and how you would be using your backpack. And then of course the straps that are on the back of the bag. So you can either carry it like a tote bag, which is wonderful, or you can wear the backpack. Now, the measurements, actually, let me put these up side by side so that you can kind of see the difference between these two as well. But the backpack itself is 13.5 inches wide, 5.5 inches deep. So it's not as deep, and it's 14 inches tall. Okay. So if I were to put these kind of together like that, you would see the difference between them. There's not a lot of difference in size, and I just think you can get a little bit bigger computer in here if you want to use that as a backpack. This would actually be a great overnight bag as well for traveling, just simply for a night trip. It's a little too small for a weekender if you wanted to use it for traveling instead of for work with a computer or notebooks or whatever it happens to be. So very, very simple construction. The fabric combinations that I'm going to share with you today that we've added to our website, they're not only for the Buckthorn Backpack and Tote projects. You can use any of these fabric combinations or ideas for any bag or any project that you want to make using Batik Canvas. But the one thing that's common across all of the shades I'm going to share with you today is that the main fabric I've selected is our 8.6 ounce Batik Canvas. The other two that are, I kind of look at them as coordinates or accents, work really, really well with this main fabric. And so this fabric grouping is the Valhalla Lavender Lantern and Hand-Dyed Lilac and Phoenix Soft Serve, both of these from the 5 ounce canvas collection. I really love this next fabric collection here. This is Valhalla in the shade of Ivy. We have a hand-dyed Ivy in our 5 ounce collection, as well as the Valhalla Pastel Delight. This is just, I just think this is just really a beautiful shade for the lining of a bag with this Ivy shade as the main portion of the bag. And we don't have a fabric combination without the shade of Lake. So this is Gardenese Divine in the shade of Lake, Hand-Dyed Lake. And this is Medora Flora is the motif and the shade of Flax. Absolutely gorgeous. Here is Medora Flora in the shade of Dark Brown, with the hand-dyed dark brown. Again, this is 5 ounce canvas, and our Lady May motif in the shade of Merlot. And I am constantly looking for a project for the color Chrome. This is Valhalla in the shade of Chrome, 8.6 ounce canvas, and our hand-dyed chrome, along with Violetta Sachet Pink. Wouldn't this make an amazing bag? Now, the one thing to always remember too is that since these are both 5 ounces, they're interchangeable to anything. So, you know, I'm always looking at bag straps as being like a more solid or a hand-dyed fabric, and they definitely do not need to be. I'm going to jump back over here and show you this tote bag one more time. This is the Phoenix Turbulent Blue colorway. The handles are hand-dyed Lake. And then the lining fabric is our hand-dyed Soft Mint. This could also have been the Violetta motif in Soft Mint as well, and I think it would look absolutely gorgeous with that. And the larger backpack, this is Phoenix Clifton Garden. The strapping or the handles is the hand-dyed Delft. And then the lining, hopefully we don't get too close here with this camera, but the lining is the Medora Flora in the shade of Delft as well. Beautiful, beautiful combinations. Those are really some fun color combinations that I think will be great for any project bag, whether it be the Buckthorn tote bag or backpack, or any of the projects that you love to work on. And just know that when you're on our website, and if you decide to purchase one of these kits, we can customize the fabric combinations that you would like to see in your project kit. These are just some examples of what we're going to have readily available for you. But if you do have questions and want some help trying to decide whether or not the sachet pink goes with the Merlot or what goes with what, let us know, jump on the chat or pick up the phone and give us a call, and I can put together some fabric combinations for you, send you a picture so that you can see how everything will work together. I really enjoy putting together these fabric combinations for you. It's really fun to see what you like to put together as well. So each one of our kits has the ability for you to jump over to the appropriate fabric collection, whether it be the 8-ounce canvas or the 5-ounce canvas for this bag anyway, and then come back and write down your selections, and then also answer the questions of whether or not you want the add-ons. So we're trying to make it as customizable as we can for you. So definitely send us a chat message if you'd like some help with that. The one other thing that I really want to talk to you about is a little bit of technical, well, it's not really technical, but a little challenge that I did have sewing with the 8.6-ounce canvas and the 5-ounce canvas at the same time. And it was simply when I was adding the binding, the finished top binding to this particular bag. The 8-ounce canvas or 8.6-ounce canvas can get thick. And so at one point in time, actually on that bag was the first bag that I did, I was stitching the seam of the binding on top of another seam on top of another seam. And so that really got to be extraordinarily thick. So I staggered where I put my seams. So the binding seam is actually in the center back of the bag instead of lined up with the side seam. A simple change like that really made it super simple for my needle to go through all of those layers of fabric. So think about those things too when you're working on working with really heavy fabric like a heavier canvas as well. But otherwise, I had no difficulty sewing with all of this fabric and all the different layers to make both of these bags. So I hope you enjoy and try one of these bags. I think they're so much fun and so easy to sew, and you're gonna love the fabric as well. Let's talk about our next project. It's time to talk about a couple of upcoming projects, and I know I've been giving the canvas a lot of love, but I think it's time for some rayon and some jersey knit. So back on my New Year's resolutions, one project that I did not finish was the Montrose top. This top, I was going to make a Montrose top to match the easy rolled edge kimono that we made at the end of 2023. Here is the kimono that I did a little tutorial on. And, oh, let me step back here just a little bit so that you can see it. But the kimono is made with our Batik Rayon, and this fabric choice is the Valhalla motif in the shade of Sangria, okay? And it was a simple, as I had mentioned, a rolled edge kimono, and it is one of these 30 minutes complete, and you can wear it out in an evening kind of jacket. It's just so simple to make. But my other goal was to make the Montrose top, which is also a very simple top to make. It can be short sleeves with a lower round neck, or it can be a kind of an elbow length sleeve over here on the one that shows in the blue garment there, with a higher round neck. And that is the view that I've selected to make. I've already cut out the fabric. Let me take this off of here for now, but I've already cut out the fabric, and I selected the shade of hand-dyed bright violet. The richness of this colorway, and I know it's not going to show through on this camera, but it is really amazingly rich and saturated. And so I've cut out all the pattern pieces, which are basically a sleeve, a front, a back, and a facing. And I'm going to stitch that up and share that with you here shortly. but I really wanted to have a jacket and a top that purposely went together, and that is going to be the perfect outfit. Now, the one other thing that I tried to do, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work, but I did have enough fabric to try to lengthen the sleeve to be a long sleeve on that Montrose top. Now, I'm hoping I can get the slope correctly and everything will look good. If not, I'm going to show you an elbow length sleeve. But a little bit about this pattern, just as a refresher. I have talked about this in a prior video, and I'll put the link below for that specific episode. And I also did a little tutorial on how to sew up the V-neck with the button closure in the back. It's just like a simple, and it's in this pattern, but for some reason, I just couldn't get my thoughts around how they were structuring it. So I just did a different facing for that back slit opening. I'll again link that down below so that you can see that episode as well. But the Cashmerette Montrose top is really a great pattern to have in your pattern collection because it's a basic. It's like something you would go to for any time you need a simple top. I'm wearing one right now. I made this a while ago, and then I'm just wearing a cardigan over the top of it. And this is a elbow length top as well. But it basically takes 2 to 2.5 yards of Batik Rayon and a front pattern piece with darts, a back pattern piece with an opening, or there is a version here where you can have a gathered yoke back top and the short sleeve or the elbow length sleeve. The Montrose pattern is available in 2 different size ranges, 2 different pattern size ranges. The first is size 0 to 16, and that is with a cup size of C to H. Actually the same for both of the patterns, but the second size range is size 12 to 32. Definitely find the right size for you. We have both of them on our website, and our kits also will give you the option of selecting the size range that is perfect for you. The second project we're going to be making here is a Marlo sweater, and this pattern is by True Bias. There are 2 different size ranges for this pattern as well, and the models that they have on the front are just slightly different. One shows a shorter jacket. Shouldn't call it a jacket, it's really a sweater. A shorter sweater, it's buttoned down, and it looks extremely comfortable, very loose fitting, and something that you could put on over another sweater or a turtleneck or a classic shirt or something that you're wearing. And here's the longer version. I think the shorter shorter sweater here is about 22 inches long. And then the longer one is probably about 28 to 30 inches long. And I am definitely going to be making the longer sweater. And I selected our Violetta motif out. This is the colorway of Sage. And our jersey knit is 72 inches wide, so I'm going to do a little bit of playing with the layout for the pattern pieces to see what we can save you on the yardage. But for the size that I'm going to make for myself, which I believe is a 12, it says out of 54-inch wide fabric that we would need 2 yards, 2¼ yards of fabric, and I know we won't need that much fabric, but I need to lay this out before I tell you how much we're going to use. Stay tuned for updates on the Marlo sweater pattern and project, and it's just exciting. I really needed an additional sweater pattern for just a basic, comfortable, loose-fitting sweater, and I think this is going to do the trick, because when I look at the finished garment measurements, from the bust to the waist to the hip, they're all the same. So for example, for a size 12, it will be the measurements of 47, 47, 47, which means it's extremely loose fitting. I am always going to be basing my size range off my bust area and my shoulder area, because that seems to be for me where I fit most of my garments. whether it be a top like the Montrose top or a sweater. So that's where I'm starting, and we'll see how this goes, and we'll give you an update on a future episode here on a Fabric Friday. But this is going to be really exciting to do a Marlo sweater as well as the Montrose top. And lastly, an update on our inventory. We are anticipating receipt of our 115-inch wide Batik cotton, as well as restocking of our nuanced gradation fabrics. And the shipment has cleared customs. So we are just waiting for it to make its way to us here in North Dakota so that we can get all of those pre-orders cut and shipped. And we really thank you so much for your patience while we go through the process of getting everything received into our warehouse here. I hope you enjoyed this Fabric Friday, and try your hand at one of these wonderful Buckthorn tote bags or backpacks, and stay tuned for future projects, and have a wonderful Fabric Friday and a great start to your weekend. And follow us on our social media, on our website, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. And leave us some comments below. We really love to hear from you and see what your sewing journey includes. And until next time, keep sewing, smiling, and sharing.